another one.
Chronically overwhelmed software engineer thinking about switching over to testing. What? Anybody got any experience first or second hand with this switch? I've been programming for over 2 years and I'm stressed with pair programming due to being ADHD and have the fear of being perceived. I struggle to break down tickets into steps. I struggle to start features. I am more of a visual person. It's imposter syndrome and it's getting worse despite having such a positive environment and manager. I've spoke to some people recently that switched from test to dev to test and said it was the best place for them. They also had similar struggles. I just feel like I'm in the wrong career and I wish I tried to get into testing initially more. I kind of just stumbled into this and I'm so burnt out. Has anyone experienced switching from programming to test, and how can I educate myself in the space before I officially start a conversation with my manager? So, a few points, because I feel like people are judging my situation greatly. My company has no blame culture for both dev and test. I've already spoken to a tester who has tried to be a developer and has had the same struggles as I do with engineering. She's so much happier and is less stressed out. My potential manager is lovely and I have a good network with him. I have absolutely little to no deadlines at my company and would never be rushed to get a feature out bug free. We have canceled and delayed many releases because testers needed more time. So that is a great question right up my alleyway. Let's get the clock started. So here, I didn't even put the thing up. My bad. Give me a second. All right, boom, there we go. So here's the deal. Chronically overwhelmed as a software engineer. It sounds like you work in a good culture, a good company culture as a software engineer or as a tester. But let me give you some insight to testing. Usually, which I don't know about your particular company, but usually as a QA engineer, it's going to be maybe 1 to 2 of you on a team with about 4 to 6 software engineers. And they are all working on different aspects of a particular story, or they can all have their own individual story and they can be working in parallel. And if you're working in an agile environment, in a Scrum environment, when the sprint starts and they all start working on their tickets, right? Now, let's say the first week. Right, let's be gracious to the software engineer. Let's say the first week, they all get their stories done. Let's say it's a 2-week sprint. Now, in the following week, that means you have 4 to 6 different stories to test between you and your other QA engineer. And that means you have to go through the test plan. You might have to write your automated testing. You have to write your automated testing because it is not optional anymore. It is not optional. Thinking that you're going to get away with manual testing, it is a big no, not happening anymore. You have to write automated tests. So you need to also make sure that the test is working in different environments. You need to make sure that the application, the configuration is correct. You need to be ready to deploy. So all that to say is it's not all roses on this side. I love quality assurance, but I'm also a glutton for punishment. And you need to be in tune with, here's doing QA. It's not just, I'm going to test this thing. It's also building the right relationships with developers, knowing each developer that you work with, knowing how they work and knowing how to communicate with them. It's a lot of interpersonal skills as well that goes out with the technical skills. I think you're in a good spot because you do have the developer knowledge and everything like that, so you can understand the code and stuff like that. But you need to be able to communicate with the developers. You need to understand what they're doing, which I think you have that. The other aspect is you need to know how to see. A lot of developers come with the mindset of everything works, while QA has to come with the mindset of nothing works. And it's usually somewhere in the middle, right? Where most of the things work, but the things that don't work, it can be very critical. So you need to be able to approach it with that mindset as well. You need to, a lot of times, you should take a QA course. You can probably take one on Udemy, especially if you're already working in the industry. I don't think your company would like, oh, you have to go do some like no company will ever say you to go do a QA bootcamp, right? But maybe take a Udemy course, maybe take a Coursera course, understand the lingo and stuff like that. You're probably not going to use it much, but you'll understand what you're doing. And you have to shift your mindset. The most important part in getting into QA is shifting your mindset on understanding risks and how to mitigate those risks, seeing things that everyone else can't see. You have to build a sixth sense, like the movie. I see potential flaws. I see defects. I see bugs. While no one else can see them. While no one else can see them. You have to build that ability to think about what can go wrong and how it can go wrong and write scenarios to prepare for that. Because anybody can just test the happy path. But what about the unhappy path? What about the miserable path? So that's what I think about that. It seems like you're in a good environment either way. And I think even if you were to switch to tester, to QA engineer, and let's say it didn't work out, it sounds like your company would be happy to bring you back if you wanted to go to back to software engineering. But I don't know if ADHD is if being a tester is going to help you with ADHD. And about the part about breaking tickets into steps, you still have to do that for QA engineering. You need to be able to break down like the steps you're going to follow to test this application. That reminds me, remember first I was telling you about like when you get these projects in Python, like you have to break it down into steps instead of like going for the Hail Mary every single time, going for the home run every single time, going for the 35-footer every single time. But yeah, so I don't know if the things you list as a problem is going to be remedied or rectified in like if you go to QA. But I do think that you have a fine background to get into QA, but you're gonna have to like shift your mindset around to thinking about, hey, I have to approach this as nothing in the world works, and then you start working that way. But it seems like you're in a good spot. I don't think it's a bad idea for you to try it. Like, especially just try it out. Try it out, see how it feels, and if you don't like it, then stay where you at. I would also say you need to work like also try to enhance your software engineering skills, because I think you can get better. I don't think ADHD should prevent somebody from being a software engineer and stuff like that. You just have to focus. Like there's strategies, right? Anyways, that is that question for tonight. That's number 2.
They say they want success, but they don't put in the time. Promises unkept, all this wasted energy's a crime. People with their eyes wide shut, just playing their part. But when it comes to commitment, they ain't got the heart. Tell me what's the point of dreaming big if you don't try? Why don't you wake up, get your dreams in line? You can't keep on waiting, 'cause it's your time to shine. Don't let the darkness cloud the path that you own. If you want success, then you gotta make it home. I see the potential in them, but they don't understand. Only chasing shadows, never stepping on the land. Words are just reflections, but actions tell the tale. When you want the prize, you gotta break the veil. Success is a road, but oh, it ain't a free ride. Why don't you wake up, get your dreams in line? You can't keep on waiting, 'cause it's your time to shine. Don't let the darkness cloud the path that you own. If you want success, then you gotta